Well, he's running around behind number 19, Mike Malone, so he's lost a lot of ground, down in about 15th place.
Trio of Lotus 23s. Don't make a Lotus 69, by the way, but they are working really well. And the black one's closing on the white and red one of Goodwin, and they are certainly a little closer, I would say, to Joe Twyman out front.
Yeah, but Hibbard's got past Newell on this lap. It's been quite a battle. Pretty confusing for the two of us, or the three of us, with the two cars such a similar livery.
Newell did really well there, because he actually almost got on the grass coming into Woodcote, and somehow not only kept it on the road, but actually closed on Hibbard, so right on the limit there. And he's having a look as they come down into Masbury, but he's had to slot back in behind. But Goodwin looks like he's going wide, but he's kept in as well. Those three have closed back up together, and Twyman's lead is now out to 3 seconds.
Goodwin is just the neatest of that trio, as you would expect. Of course, as I said, that the tail kicks out, and Andy Newell, who has no fear of the throttle pedal, he gets better traction and closes right in and goes past Hibbard. Now, let's see, this little scrap will delay the two of them.
Hibbard's carrying more speed on the outside, though, Bruce.
Yeah, it's a question of where they next have to get round a corner.
And he's kept it.
He has kept it. Well, I thought that was a done and dusted move. So, leading into St Mary's, but tiptoeing around the corner is Joe Twyman. This is a very tricky part of the circuit, and behind them, the next three.
Oh, Arnie Blackspun.
Oh, all those years, decades of experience, and just got a little bit offline, Arnie Black. Round he goes in the 17 Crosley. Back in front of Mark Owen, who had his own spin not so long ago. And what we're seeing, of course, once you get off the black stuff onto the green stuff, it's super, super slippery, and that was a double pirouette.
It's a double axle.
Andy Newell still giving chase of Andrew Hibbard, and getting closer and closer and more sideways. He drops back, he closes in again.
Hibbard got the fastest lap of the race last time round.
Ah, yes, 1 minute 56.9.
Yeah, 7 tenths quicker than the race leader, but their battle is intensified. Up the inside comes Hibbard into Woodcote Corner. He runs wide, he gets onto the grass. Both the Black Lotus 23s are on the grass, and they are both regaining the track now in the same order. But Hibbard, unfortunately, having got his nose into second, slipped back there.
Well, they both seem to have the pace to catch and get onto the tail of Chris Goodwin. That's bought Chris a little more time, but the sheer depth of those puddles off over the curbs just shows how much rain we've had in the past 25 minutes. There was the race leader, Joe Twyman, 3.8 seconds clear. Then Chris Goodwin in second place, 1.25 seconds clear of this scrapping battle. Hibbard and Newell over third place.
Here's the repeat of it, and you'll see from different angles now how that all happened. Going in very quickly, Andy Hibbard, and Andy Newell also out on the grass, so that didn't really work, but it was a good effort while it lasted, and that was certainly spectacular. And they stayed in the same order, the black cars. Here we are again from the inside, and Hibbard at that point realised he'd made just about the apex, but he wasn't going to keep the car on the island.
That was a classic case of following what's happening ahead of you, wasn't it, for Andy Newell? Very nearly went to the same scene of the accident.
Exactly. It's very easy to do that when you're in a race car. You can do the lemming move and just follow the person off, and they've gone off, and oh, you're off as well. Happens. But that was very spectacular, very well caught by the 3 different camera operators.
But of course, Chris Goodwin will be under pressure all along, and a lap later he's got company again.
Yeah, and they're all together, the 323s, second, third, and fourth. And coming out to lap, Carol Kinnew driving the Uni Park owned Lotus 23, I think that is.
You can't fault Andy Newell for trying. He goes left, he goes right, he puts the power down before either of those two cars ahead of him do, but then the car goes sideways, and Andrew Hibbard just that little bit neater. Chris Goodwin seems the quietest one of the three
outside
at the front, but round the outside this time, Andrew Hibbard staying on the track. Not
deal.
at all, not a bit of it.
This time he's had a slightly better exit, but he's on the curve again, and Goodwin's going to get him back going into the chicane. But no, he's come back again. Unbelievable, round the outside, and that was very dramatic. But all the time, of course, Joe Twyman metaphorically rubbing his hands together. He's escaping up front.
Absolutely, he's leading now to
nearly
almost
6
seconds.
So how long will Andy Newell stay behind Chris Goodwin? Well, the answer is, as I said, no time at all, because up into third place now, the driver with the yellow helmet in that little battle of the Lotus 23s, car number 36, Andy Newell. Now, can he do anything about Andy Hibbard? Hibbard was so brave down into the chicane, and I'd say Chris Goodwin being just that little bit cautious ahead of them and let him do that.
Of course, Hibbert's done an awful lot of testing here over the last few years. They come here regularly with their customers, Andy Hibbert and his father Mike. You can see run the outside like a buffalo girl, as they say, and he slides off.
Chris Goodwin must have been thinking, same old, but the fact that Hibbert just didn't lift off, just kept on going through the puddles, the deep water, the low water. And Andy Newell at this point, coming up into the chicane, might be thinking they could clash and I could go through. He backed off that little bit, but Goodwin, being very much the gentleman, let Andy Hibbert.
Not far behind them is Max Bartel with the number 18. Up the inside into Madgwick comes the Andy Newell car, past number 7.
Yes, Goodwin doesn't look that confident on the brakes, does he? Because he really could have made the chicane his own there.
Bear in mind that Goodwin drives that car about once every 3 seasons. Yes. And the other 2 guys race them all the time. Big. Oh, and that's Jim Morris, isn't it? With his Lotus, he's wiped the side pod off that. But he's going to continue back to the pits. Here are Hibbert and Newell. Their battle for 2nd place now continues. Now, is Hibbert going to make the exit of the corner for the first time in 3 laps? I think he is.
Looked positively pedestrian by comparison to his last 2 efforts there, didn't it? But he stayed on the track.
Yeah, he did some braking, apparently. So these two, they've been at it since the first corner on the opening lap. At the moment, it's Andy Hibbert ahead of Andy Newell, but it's very tight indeed. And Chris Goodwin really does seem to have dropped off their tail. He was ahead of them at just about a lap ago, and now he's back down into 4th place. Joe Twyman round into the first part of Madgwick.
But they've taken a second back. Newell. They've taken a second back.
I mean, I've been insulted by Alan Menu. I've been strangled by Rickard Rydell.
Very grunty Nissan engine in the back, as we heard down there on the start line.